This episode of the Rural Roots Canada podcast is brought to you by Kubota. When hay season hits, every hour in the field counts, and Kubota hay tools are built to make the most of them. With mowers, tedders, rakes, balers, wrappers, mergers, and more, Kubota has the equipment to keep your operation moving. Head to Kubota.ca and click Agriculture to explore the full lineup. Welcome to the Rural Roots Canada podcast. I'm Tim Parent. What does it look like to build a school from the ground up, and not just bricks and mortar, but an entirely new way of learning? In southeast Alberta, just outside of Medicine Hat, that question is no longer theoretical. It's actually taking shape on 76 acres of donated land where the Yuill School of Agriculture is being built with a singular focus, connecting students directly to the realities and opportunities of modern agriculture. Now, this isn't a traditional high school with an ag program that's just attached to it. It's something far more intentional. It'll be a place where students graduate not just with a diploma, but with industry certifications, real-world experience, and a clear sense of where they fit in an evolving sector that feeds and fuels our country. Now, at the center of all this is Nichole Neubauer, a farmer, educator, and a longtime advocate for getting young people closer to ag in ways that actually stick. From early field trips to building hands-on programming from scratch, her work has always circled on one idea, that you can't pursue what you've never been exposed to. In this episode of the Rural Roots Canada podcast, RRC reporter Olivia Taylor sits down for an in-depth conversation with Neubauer to unpack the vision behind the Yuill School of Agriculture, the gaps it's designed to fill, and what it takes to turn an idea like this into something real.
Tell me a little bit about the Yuill School of Agriculture.
So the Yuill School of Agriculture is an initiative that has been spearheaded by Prairie Rose Public Schools. And so Prairie Rose is a school division that provides all the supports for schools in rural Alberta, southeast Alberta. And they're actually a super innovative school division in the way that they capitalize on strengths opportunities of rural Alberta to design programming that will create future prospects for students within their schools. So many of the projects or programs that they've done have led to academy programs that have a very high level of both skills and recognition. So they started off with a South Alberta Hockey Association, SAHA, and from there have been training high-level hockey athletes to pursue careers in hockey. Mm-hmm. So a high-performance hockey school. Additionally, they also have a flight academy program, and that program trains students while they're in high school about all the aspects of flying, and they actually earn their private pilot's license while they're in high school.
Wow.
And in parallel, they also work in an aircraft maintenance engineering lab where they build an airplane. So not only do they learn how to fly it, they learn how it goes together so that they understand the fundamentals of flight right from the ground up. Mm-hmm. Our son is actually a graduate of that program.
Oh, wow.
And went on after high school to get his commercial pilot's license and also various other training that he did, and now he is first officer with WestJet Encore. So creating opportunities that lead to pathways for future careers for students is a really big priority for Prairie Rose. They also have an incredible trades program, which is in partnership with the Medicine Hat College, and they have a fire rescue academy where they're training students through the help of the Dunmore fire station, basically bringing forward the next generation of firefighters, whether it's to volunteer in their communities or to pursue, working as a professional firefighter. So students have a great range of opportunities to pursue things of interest to them, to make high school relevant and exciting and very purpose driven. And so that really is where the Yuill School of Agriculture is sort of the next big adventure in terms of their academy programs. So to create a comprehensive agriculture school for students who want to build pathways into industry and graduate with job ready skills, or for those that want to pursue post-secondary, then also taking dual credit courses that help give them a leg up in their future post-secondary pursuits. And so, yeah, it's very exciting to work with such an innovative, forward-thinking school division who really wants to create education that's relevant for today's student.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Neubauer Farms has been welcoming students for years through the Agriculture Discovery Center and the Growing Minds program. Where did that drive to educate young people first come from?
Well, 20 years ago was when, I guess it's 21 years ago this spring, was when on our farm, we opened our gates to the very first group of kindergarten kiddos that came from the city. So in my career, I worked in early childhood education, and I also worked with children with special needs as well. And it was in that work where I was in the community doing assessments, making referrals for professional supports, that I really seen that young kiddos were lacking the opportunity to create an authentic connection with farming and farms and where their food comes from. And because we have a farm and we live very close to Medicine Hat, it seemed like a logical thing to offer farm-based field trips that were developmentally appropriate for young kids, to give them a first-hand account of bottle feeding a calf, holding a chick, or pulling a carrot out of the garden, to just develop that authentic connection with the origins of food. So from there, we started to work with educators and teachers throughout all three school divisions to refine the programming and to create really engaging and exciting activities for kids. Basically, we had kids that came from preschool age all the way to about grade 3. And it was just truly magical to see them form those connections and get excited about agriculture and see the importance of farmers and the role that they play. So the purpose of that project was that it would give kids a chance to really explore through meaningful hands-on activities what happens on a farm. And when they would hear about a farm or a farmer, it would elicit a positive connection.
And when did you first start thinking that something bigger, like a dedicated high school to agriculture, was possible?
So yes, this whole process has kind of built and scaffolded scaffolded from one phase to the next. So we offered the Ag Ed program here at Neubauer Farms for about 15 years, and in that point in time, we were welcoming over 3,000 kids per year.
Wow.
We were really capacity, and I could see where there was so much more depth of learning and opportunity. So what I did was spend some time thinking about how we could take what we were doing on our farm to the next level and make it more immersive. So I wanted to really educate beyond our gate and reach more students. I drew up a proposal to see a 200 by 200 foot fully functioning farm that would be actually installed right on a playground. And
Wow.
the school that we chose was Irvin School. It's a school that's near and dear to our hearts. Our family farm, which was established in 1910, is located just north of the hamlet of Irvin. My mother-in-law was a teacher at Irvin. Irvin was a school that my husband was educated from grade 1 to 12, and it was a special place for us. So we took the proposal to Prairie Rose. They loved the idea, and they listed it under their Prairie Possibilities projects and funded the build. So down at Irvin, we currently have the Agriculture Discovery Center, which we designed and Mark and I installed, and now I oversee and coordinate programming down there. It runs from April to October, and students raise feeder steers, bottle calves, market lambs, market hogs, goats, laying hens, and then we have a huge garden with a greenhouse that the students start bedding plants and then plant the garden, and then we harvest everything in the fall, and we auction off or process our livestock and we sell that, and it has a very nice little sustainable model because every year our community invests somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 back into that program. So since its inception, which the first season was spring of 2022, we've raised over $200,000 that we directly invest back into that program for enhanced student learning. We also created a program called Ag Pro, and Ag Pro is a series of agriculture options courses for our junior high students, and it's listed under the CTF options, so Career and Technology Foundations. So typical option courses, people think of food studies, they think about shop. Well, we have an Ag CTF where students do farm safety, they do Ag Pro Machinery and Technology, Ag Pro Beef, Ag Pro Crops, and Ag Pro Business. And then there's also an Ag Pro Leadership course as well. So we're just sort of getting kids out in the community. They're learning from experts. We're visiting all kinds of businesses and operations and really defining careers and pathways for students to get them thinking about agriculture. So really the next step in this whole progress, or the whole progression, was really ultimately to get to high school and engage with the high school students in a meaningful way so that we can sustain our workforce, and so we can have kids understand the almost limitless career potential that exists within agriculture. And I really believe students can't love and they can't pursue what they've never seen. And unfortunately, agriculture is a bit of an unknown entity, and folks make a lot of assumptions about ag, and that you have to own land or have to have been born and raised on a farm in order to be in the industry. And so we're trying to change that and create a paradigm shift for students so that they understand that there are so many wonderful jobs in agriculture related to technology and animal health and food science, value added opportunities galore, really, for kids. And that's what the Yuill School of Agriculture promises, that students will engage in real agriculture, forming real skills to lead towards great futures for them.
And I think, like you mentioned, breaking down those barriers and actually educating students about what careers are out there will actually help them, maybe even spark an interest. If you're looking at where I am in Newfoundland, we, do some things when we're younger to do with agriculture, some simple things in elementary school, but I found, at least for like my experience, it really dropped off, and we're not exposed to any agriculture careers here in high school, not even in our career class. At least I wasn't. So, how are students going to know if they're not exposed to that?
Yes, you just hit the nail on the head. We need to become far more intentional about how we talk about agriculture, and also how we get kids excited about it. It's a motivation of the heart, the ag and food production industry, and that can only be achieved. We can only grow the workforce by creating excitement around what we do. We are just eternally grateful for the opportunity for amazing partnerships. So the Yuill School of Agriculture, which is going to be our most ambitious project yet, will be a comprehensive agriculture collegiate where students will not only earn a diploma, they will earn safety certifications, they will gain hands-on knowledge, they'll develop a professional portfolio and be mentored by industry experts that will lead them to different possibilities upon graduation. So this project has first and foremost been made possible thanks to an incredible donation from the Yuill Family Foundation And they have donated 76 acres of land located right between Medicine Hat and Dunmore, which is just about 5 minutes away from the Eagle Butte High School, which is the main feeder school for Prairie Rose high
Okay.
school students. So the gift that they gave of land and also generous financial support has allowed us to create a institution that is going to serve the region not only now but into the future. Additionally, we received funding to develop the spaces inside of the building from Alberta Education through the collegiate funding model. And then, of course, Prairie Rose Public Schools is the school division that is the champion of this program and project. And then Neubauer Farms, my husband and myself, are thrilled to contribute the detailed design and oversee the construction of the school. So my husband had a history working at CF Industries, where he was leading projects, was superintendent at the instrumental electrical department, and he is so vested and believes so much in this program that he's donating all of his expertise to oversee construction. And then I'm working closely with our advisory council of about 25 community members to develop programming. And also I am in charge of fundraising as well and communications for this big project. So it's we're working collaboratively with many partners, but the priority for this project is that we develop a school that is relevant and responsive to the needs of the agriculture industry. And that is where having all these community partnerships and advisors comes in, so that we ensure that the curriculum, the facilities, and the programming is what agriculture needs.
This podcast is brought to you by Kubota Canada.
If you make hay, you know what's really in charge, the weather. So when you have a good window, it's go time, and you need equipment that helps you move fast, stay consistent, and avoid downtime. This episode is sponsored by Kubota Canada hay tools. From disc mowers and conditioners to tedders, rakes, mergers, round balers, wrappers, and more, it's a lineup built around the stuff that pays you back in season. That means clean cutting, terrain adaptability, and durability to go the distance. And because reliability isn't optional, Kubota backs it up with Canadian commitment. More than 50 years in Canada, plus a dealer network that's locally owned and ready to help when the season doesn't wait. That kind of dealer support means you're never far from people who understand the unique conditions your operation faces. And for extra peace of mind, all Kubota hay tools are backed by a 2-year factory warranty. Kubota Canada. Find the link in the show notes for more.
Rather than just looking like a traditional school building, how do you make sure the physical space actually reflects the hands-on, real-world experience that you want students to have?
So the physical space, from the building standpoint, the lower level is going to be consisting of labs. So that's where the learning becomes real. Of course, you can learn some things about agriculture in a classroom, but it's the applied learning that actually sticks. So the lower level will have an agronomy and social sciences laboratory. It will have a commercial test kitchen where value-added agriculture can be experimented with, where students can think about products that they'd like to develop, create them, test them, and then hopefully lead to commercialization at some point in time. The space that I'm probably the most excited about is our large animal veterinary clinic. So
Wow.
there will be a space for bringing in cattle to handle them in a safe way with an alley and a hydraulic squeeze and horse stocks and a few stalls. And basically the theory behind that space is that we will welcome veterinarians from in the community to come and use the space. So young vets that are just starting out, it's for large animals services. It's quite common for them to have a truck that has a system on the back, and they show up at farms and ranches driving hundreds and hundreds of kilometers to their clients. And, then sometimes they just have to work with the space that's available, which can sometimes not be as safe or modern as we need it to be. And so we want to protect those vets, and we want to give them a space where they can meet their clients and pull a calf, or do a C-section, or semen test some bulls, and then they can use that space at no charge to them. And then the parallel benefit is that it becomes an amazing opportunity for our students to observe and ask questions and be mentored by an expert. And then this can lead to a deeper understanding of animal care and certainly industry best practice standards. And it's in a real world setting. So that's what our animal health center is going to look like. And then the last space is a shop, mechanical systems shop, where kids will pull wrenches. They will learn all about equipment from assembly to repairs. We're very fortunate in that we've built an amazing relationship with Western Tractor, your dealership, and they will be providing tech support and equipment to repair that'll come to the shop, and students will have the chance to learn from a professional in the industry how you diagnose a mechanical failure and then how you repair it. And then the other piece to that part of the program will be a heavy-duty equipment operations certification as well.
Wow.
So students will learn how to operate equipment like skid steers, excavators, forklifts, and they'll receive all the safety training required, and also have the seat time while they're in high school that could lead to construction jobs, jobs in feedlots, jobs in farming operations. And they'll also learn things like how to back up a trailer, and how to hitch and unhitch, and how to operate PTO equipment, and how to do this all with safety being top of mind. And it's really a way that we can build a safety culture for young people in whatever operations they go and work in. So that's the main part of the building. Additionally, because we have 76 acres of beautiful grassland with riparian area and wetlands, we can take environmental studies out in the field. We have invasive species of Russian olive trees that are going to need to be controlled. We'll have to come up with some ideas about managing that. We already have the prairie rose honey apiary, and that is ran under the guidance of a master beekeeper. So students will be able to go out and work in the bee yard and learn everything from health and reproduction to queen rearing and managing things like varroa mites, all the way to harvest and honey production, and then the selling and marketing of that product. We will have a barn with a beef herd. My dream eventually is to have a purebred beef herd of somewhere between 15 and 20 animals. Students will learn how to AI, they'll learn how to, they'll research genetics, and then the calves will be born on site. My dream is to see a pen of heifers in the Medicine Hat Pen Show one day, or a bull that the students have raised that participates in the Medicine Hat Bull Sale. And then for the animals that don't make the cut, the quality cut, they're going to go into a feedlot where they'll be finished and they'll be processed, and then that will be sold out of our storefront that's also attached to the test kitchen.
Wow.
There'll be a huge horticulture space for gardening and learning about horticulture. Also, that can be a space that can be accessed by the community as well, for others that want to learn how to garden. And then again, the products that are grown in the garden can then come into the school and can be worked with, and value can be added and can be marketed, whether it's canning or pickling or creating an entirely new novel item using products and produce that's raised on the farm. So yeah, we have big plans to make it as hands-on as possible, where it's real world learning with real world application, and ultimately training students so they graduate with the skills that the employees need.
And it really seems like you're hitting, every different aspect. There's so many careers in agriculture, and you're not just focusing on one there. You have like a huge, huge span of them.
Yes, absolutely. And for kids in high school, so what's so important is just the exploration. And
Hmm.
for some, it's important that they understand what they don't want to do as much as narrowing in on what they do want to do. Because how often and how many of us know people that have gone to college, they invested 2, 3, maybe a whole degree's worth of time, and when they graduated, they were left empty-handed, thinking that, well, I don't even really know if I want to do this, or I have a degree, which is great, but it's just a piece of paper. I don't actually have a pathway into a job. Where this project is going to cater to students. It'll be a two-pronged approach. So the kids that want to pursue post-secondary and become a veterinarian or an agronomist, power to them. There will be dual credit opportunities, and they will be well supported. And then additionally, for the students that just want to get through high school, they want to graduate, they want job ready skills so that they can start earning an income the day they graduate, we're going to cater to them as well. And I think it's really important to remember that some students do better out working with their hands, out in the working world than they do in the four walls of a classroom. So if we can also incorporate 4 subjects into with an agriculture lens, it even makes it more exciting for kids to be involved.
And looking ahead, say 25 years down the road, if the Yuill School of Agriculture is still running, which I hope it is. Sorry, there one sec. What do you hope that success will look like?
Gosh, I love that you've asked this question, because that is a question we asked of our advisory council. And we really got a chance to think big and outside of the box. And what our vision and dream is for the Yuill School of Agriculture is that it becomes a working model of what a high school agriculture collegiate can look like, and we've built a template that will be known at a national level. Additionally, I think there's great opportunity for this program to bridge into a post-secondary institution. So while we will always be uh, offering the programming to the high school students, there may be opportunities to partner with the Medicine Hat College and with ag post-secondary schools to maybe serve as a remote campus even. And essentially, the other piece that's very important to us with the advisory council is that it's a financially sustainable school, so that we can derive income just from the day-to-day operations of what's going to take place. So it's going to be ran like a farm. Students are going to run it like a business, and it needs to be financially viable. Additionally, we have created an endowment fund so that the community can also contribute and be involved. And then that fund will allow us also future sustainability when it's invested, and when it pays the interest dividends on an annual basis. That'll allow us to continue to grow and expand. And then I guess the other real marker for success is that we have had a substantially positive impact on workforce development for the Medicine Hat region. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that Canada's premier food corridor, which Lethbridge, it's really between Lethbridge and Taber right now, we have many of the same assets with irrigation and innovative farmers and wonderful ag business. We have all of the tools and assets in this region to bring that food corridor right to Medicine Hat. And if 25 years from now, we've built a skilled workforce to help support big industry and value-added processing move into this area, then we will have achieved a lot of what I have envisioned and what I believe to be entirely possible.
Well, Nichole, what you all are doing seems absolutely incredible, and I think it will really, really benefit the industry and benefit so many young people looking to go into careers. So thank you so much again for joining me today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If you are interested in staying current with what we're doing, I just am working with a web developer. So we're going to have our website up hopefully in the next week or two. And then additionally, we're on Facebook at Yuill School of Agriculture on Facebook. So give us a like, and we're going to be really active there.
That's Nichole Neubauer in conversation with RRC reporter Olivia Taylor about the Yuill School of Agriculture, which could reshape how we think about ag in Alberta and across the country. That's it for this episode. Thanks again to Kubota for sponsoring this RRC podcast. Choosing the right equipment for your hay operation is a big decision, so Kubota's dealer network is there to help you get it right. Whether you're looking at mowers, balers, or a complete hay tool setup, your local Kubota dealer can walk you through the options. Head to kubota.ca and click Find a Dealer to connect with an expert near you. I'm Tim Parent. Thanks for listening.